when does success happen? When do you say I have succeeded? Is it like hitting certain revenue? Because there's never really an end piece where you're like, I'm just done with life.
Right.
There's
Revenue.
always this evolution over time.
Yeah.
So I would say success to me isn't a revenue thing or hitting certain goals, because there's goals, but hitting goals is not success, because you may fail. But I think it's just like success, even in failure, if you move forward and learn from it. So in my mind, succeeding isn't really a place you reach or a thing it's if you're fully, I think, embodying yourself, engaging in life. Because you can succeed even when you fail. Because do I succeed in 10 years from now when I have my money? No, I think if I'm pursuing my goals here, expressing myself, learning, I am successful. I remember I consider myself an entrepreneur before I even own a business. People always ask me, when I say I'm an entrepreneur, they said, what business do you own? And I think it's a fair question, but in my mind, I'm not an entrepreneur because I own a business. I'm an entrepreneur based on the way I think, the way I engage in the world. So this is a word I use to describe how I live. The thing of success is not a specific thing, but it's a way of engaging in the world.
We're back at it with the insightful Pastor Joe and the curious Biel Wiel. Appreciate you guys coming on here, man. It's been a long time. Pastor Joe, I always want to thank you for bringing all these amazing guests over here, giving me an opportunity to meet some new people, a chance to pick at their brain, and for them, give them a chance to pick at mine as well, man. So I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
I want to ask you real quick, how's life been with basketball?
Man.
I'm a big basketball fan. T-Wolves are in the playoffs now.
Man, real good. But before we get into that, I want to just tell you thank you for having me. I don't take the opportunity and the invitation, so I thank you for inviting me again. You can have anybody in the world, but you choose to have me. So I thank you so much, man. I'm glad to be here, grateful to be here. I'm honored to be here as your friend and as your brother. And as for the Timberwolves, I can see them doing great things. As for myself playing, it might be time for me to put it down. I keep getting hurt.
Yep.
And so I think golf is appealing to me now. Just golf and working out.
Golf becomes more appealing as you get older in age.
Yeah. And then my brother, my friend, he's a cross country.
Cross country and track,
And so I might go on a run with him a couple times this summer.
Okay. See, that's something that also gets difficult too. With running as you get on age. But Biel, so you guys met because you decided to walk in the house of God one day, and you got a little curious, and you wanted to, I guess, find some faith, or maybe what is it? What made you make that decision? Because this is something that I was just recently talking about with me and my girl. We just recently had a daughter. And we were talking about finding a church to start going to, but not that's a big step. So what was the first turning gear for you that made you want to go out and start looking?
Yeah, I'd say it started when I was a kid. I used to go to church as a child.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, but then I stopped going. I still consider myself a Christian, and I still read the Bible sometimes, but I wasn't consistent. And in college, I found kind of a reawakening where I turned back to the Bible more and more. And so I started trying to grow my faith, try and pray, read the Bible, but I didn't really have a community. I didn't really have people I went with consistently or a space I could go to be with God. And so when I finished college and I started working, I got to bring this to my life more consistently. Where in the city can I go? Started doing some research in the churches in the area around me in St. Paul. And the way church seemed to call to me, it seemed like a really open place I could really build a community with.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Pastor Joe.
Yeah.
Sermon there. I saw him there.
Yeah. Church is great for the local community. I feel like if you are someone who feels like you don't know your neighbors or the people around you very often, the church is the best place to start.
Yeah, the church, to be friendly. Yeah, and people are at church. The choirs is kept for very different reasons, and so people come in, and it's our job to sustain them with relationship, and then the relationship revolves. You never know. You might have lifelong friends, and you just got to roll the dice on just taking that energy to put yourself in the church.
Yeah.
And the mindset to say, I'm receptive to doing something that I usually don't do. And that's where humanity evolves. When we start taking risks, I'm going to just try this, even though I don't know much about it, even though I'm just going to make the effort. And then it starts from there. A seed is planted. And this guy, he might even be the next youth pastor of the way. I don't want to put too much on him, but he's just a polished guy. I admire Biel for his substance. I was telling him on the way here when he talked, he's a young man too. I don't want to reveal his age if he doesn't want to do that, but I see a lot of just great qualities I wish I would have had when I was in my 20s. Man, he's just...
Don't you get jealous of people like Biel?
I try to I try to suspend jealousy. I mean, I
look at a good way though. Jealousy has a lot like a negative, connotation to it. Like you're jealous in a good way.
Yeah. I love when I hear him talk, and he's very wise and tactful about how he engages in conversation. If he doesn't know, have you talked to somebody where they they don't know, but they're acting as if so you're giving them information that they had, and he doesn't do that. It's like he's willing to learn, and I've learned from him so much. I'm like, man, this guy's polished, and he's just a stand-up guy. I wouldn't bring him on. I wouldn't introduce.
I know you wouldn't. Yeah, that's why I was excited.
Quality guy.
We talked for like 20 minutes when they first called him on the phone for a while.
Good conversation.
Yeah, I thought when I first met him, I thought he was like in his 30s.
Yeah,
not because when I can hold a conversation about a lot of different capacities of life, and so I'm like, this guy might be a little older. But I found out, man, you just gotta. Oh my God, and he's just a blessing to know and to have. And he's been on the journey with us the last couple months. He comes and helps us do the feeding of the homeless, has been men's group, all the stuff, man. So I got to pour into. He told me that his goal and desire was to do some motivational public speaking. I said, we might be able to help each other. And so it's like, I know a guy who do public. So now we're here.
Yep,
and we're excited to do this. Let's get into it.
Yeah, all right, Biel, so I'm going to pick on you a little bit here. So when I spoke to you on the phone here, you're telling me you're an entrepreneur, starting, clothing design business for you. Now, I feel like a lot of people, or almost everyone, feels like they want to run or own their own business someday. No one really wants to work for anything, but reality is not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Not everyone can run like a successful business, and many have tried and many have failed. So it's like very brave of you to go out there and take that risk in doing that. So like, how did that journey start? And like, is this even your first business and like taking that leap?
I actually started a different business called Driven AI. I started that 2 years ago. It didn't work out. My partner and I
what was that about? AI?
Yeah.
I mean, you got the word AI in it, so I think that blow up. That's good. No, I pick on you for that because that's like a good buzzword right now. It's people they slap AI on everything, but it's really not AI at all.
Right.
Like it's like fancy programming. But I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I had a partner. He was a data guy, the programming, the coding kind of stuff. He made the name for it. We wanted to provide a data insights to rideshare drivers, help them earn more money by telling them exactly where to go by the minute in the city to get more higher earnings. Because they have so much downtime, they don't leverage fully their time. But it's better for Uber and Lyft that they don't know the best times. That means they'll be out every time, throughout the days. But of course, that didn't work out. We put the business to pasture, I think last March. And it was a good run though. We were in business competitions, accelerators, earned like 15 to 20K in funding for it. Yeah, that was my first go out of business. It didn't work out. But I mean, I don't. So
you have you know what it's like to start a business and fail already.
Exactly. Yeah. Cut my teeth early.
Yeah. I mean, that's a blessing when you start to consider the thing that you didn't know. And then now you can grow and build on the thing that you didn't know. To find out something early that I don't know this. That's a blessing to say I failed here. I failed in this area. I failed already. So you know how to fail. Now you just got to learn the success part. Not saying that, but that could be a contributing factor to the future. I failed it because of this reason, and take heed to that. Like, it's not just a bad thing that you failed, that you got something you can balance now.
Yep.
You have something you can look back and say, all right, this is probably where I went wrong. And you're young. So man, that's
you're young, you got time, and you went and you stood back up and you want to make another business again. One of my favorite, like, I'm sure you guys all know Mark Cuban, like the big business guy. He has got one of my favorites, like, businessy quotes. And that's, you only got to be right once. You can have hundreds of businesses. They can all go to shit. But you have that one idea. And it blows up, dude. That's it. Not all your failures, they're voided. After that.
One time you got to hit one time. And all the failures those are behind you that one time. So the failure and the adversity is something with society we got to embrace more of. Well, even the thing with the church. Now, it's not where I want it to be, and our men's group, all the stuff. But I like the growing process where we can say, all right, when we get there, we can look back and appreciate these times where it was like, oh man, I wish it was better. You got to grow from something. It's like everybody wants to be Steph Curry and LeBron James, but they don't want to put the 1,000 balls a day up. They don't want to put that blood, sweat, and tears in it to
They
get
want
there.
it now.
Yeah, fast money doesn't last long.
No,
it doesn't last.
It doesn't.
Long.
I want to go back to it and it's also sometimes a lot of it with businesses is timing, because I'm curious to think about. So did you recently see that the governor, they're not banning, but they're making Uber and Lyft drivers like pay too much now. So basically like Uber and Lyft in Minneapolis is pulling out. I'll do a quick recap. So everyone who doesn't live in Minnesota, our governor basically like, I'm not sure if there's a bill or law, but the wages for Uber and Lyft drivers are going up so far to the point where those companies decided, hey, this isn't possible anymore. So now they're like, we're not driving Ubers or Lyfts in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But it makes me curious now that like you're driving. Because when I heard that, I'm like, it's probably BS. Like they'll work something out so they can stay, or just like a different company's just gonna move in and take over. And it sounds like you're driving. I think, dude, like now might be the time.
That's so true. I ran into my partner at a hockey game out of the blue, literally like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We caught up a little bit. Like he said, dude, you hear about this AI, the rideshare income going up? We thought, wow, if we had been building out our business, could have had like a platform, a group of drivers already ready to maybe start a new platform that could replace Uber and Lyft. So that does raise a question then. Is this now a new opportunity that we should go back in, bring your AI back?
And just the timing wasn't right.
Timing of it all.
Yeah, that's something to talk about. I mean, that is a conversation you want to probably explore, because if you see a need for something and you got the ideas, you never know. That one time you're right could be it. I like that model.
Right.
One time.
And it wasn't, like I said, a lot of it's just timing. Like, 2-3 years ago, your AI, it didn't have the foundation, I guess, laid for it. But now, like, a lot of doors are opening. The big, like, behemoths, they're getting out of the cities, and like, it's time for someone else to move in. Yeah, that's very interesting. I just want to bring it up, but without getting too far off topic. So tell me about, your next venture here now. So that was your first company, and now with the one with your clothing brand that you were talking with me now.
Yes, it's called Gocciolare. It started in a weird kind of way.
Yeah.
Last summer, I had this idea, like, what if I create an Instagram page, where I post content to inspire and motivate people. That's the clothing line to that business. I don't know anything about selling clothing or even social media, but I do know some guy I met through entrepreneurship community at St. Thomas that I think he sold clothing in the past. So I literally called him right then when I had the idea, the Saturday afternoon. I shared it with him, He told me, dude, I'm doing that exact thing right now. How about you come take over my thing? Because he's trying to find him take it over for him because he's getting busy with another business. And so, but no one was taking it. So it was like a perfect alignment when I called him up. He said, come take this over, see what you can do with it.
Okay. So see what you can do. So what are you mainly selling? Like different types of like shirts, pants, like everything, jackets, like designer, you like designing it like yourself? Like what's that design process look like, and specific, materials of clothing that you're into?
I actually paused the clothing part of it all because we had sold clothing in the past, but we weren't getting consistent results. So I went back to focusing on the community aspect.
Yeah.
So right now we have no inventory. We have some inventory left over, but not selling anything. But now I'm focusing more on providing valuable content to people. I want to get more involved in the community as well, going to events, showcasing resources over the next few months. And then I'll bring the clothing line back. I'm to have a more solid community in place who actually wants to, buy product.
Yeah. Do you design it yourself? Are you into fashion at all? So I would have no idea what kind of clothes to design, man.
It taught me a lot that you need people, because like I have no sense of like fashion or design or
swag, brother. No, you got swag.
I bring friends to the mall. I brought you to the mall. Remember one time? I said, you guys help me out here.
Oh yeah. But
your teammates.
Yeah. You got it going for you, man. You're tall. You got nice skin tone, pearly white teeth. Like that's you. All you got to put on something and then have your fit right. You look like new money, man.
Yeah, I'll be the founder and the model for my business. There
you go. Yeah, founder and the model. I like that. Yeah, man. Entrepreneurship, dude. It's a risky road. I feel like and like props to you because I feel like the fashion one, clothing, that's probably might be one of the riskiest, right? Because there's just so many trends in the fashion industry. There's so many trends in it, and it's just so subjective too. You know, like what one style, you know, a group of people really loves, and there's other group of people like, I cannot believe they wear that. Did you think about that at all? Like, of all businesses to get into, like, fashion, I feel like fashion and like the restaurant business are probably two of the riskiest ones.
Right. Restaurant, you think?
Oh yeah, restaurants probably number one actually.
Really?
You talk to any like investor, like business guy, they say don't invest in restaurants.
Yep.
Hey, seriously, it's like, well, because they don't last very long. One, it's really hard to make profit. There's not a lot like margin wise, like for food costs on that. There's not a lot of space for you to make a lot of money, and there's just so many of them just shut down. Like, there's very few restaurants that have actually been up for over like 50 years.
Really? Wow.
I mean, can you think of any? I can think of
Perkins.
Those are all chains, though.
Oh, chains.
Those are all chains, though. I mean,
you talking like mom and pop shops?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That you're probably right. Yeah, that is true because you don't see a lot of mom and pop shops. Say,
yeah, but chains
years.
too, though. Things with chains like they'll open one up. Okay, does good for a little bit. Now it's not doing it, so it's just going to shut down.
Huh. That's interesting. Maybe location, because I would think like food. There's people are always going to be hungry.
Yeah,
and if you're in the right location and the product is good, the sky's the limit. But it's not so because I know a lot of people that have tried to open that food catering business.
Easy, but it ain't.
It sounds easy.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff today is not. The people want to, and this is the conversation we're having about being a boss, being the person in charge and stuff. You got to look about all those responsibilities.
Yeah.
That you embrace and that you get assigned to because you are the boss. Like you have to make sure payroll is done, location, rent is paid, all the product is available. That when we ordered yesterday, about 3 days ago, I went to get those new pepperoni things at the Little Caesars. Even though I'm not supposed to be eating pork.
I haven't been to Little Caesars in a long time.
Oh my God.
I'm a Pizza Hut guy.
You are?
Yeah.
You got to try those things. I'm not a big pepper man, but I had to do it. These things are amazing. I went there to get them, and the lady's like, "Oh, what time is it?" It's like 7:40. They close at 8. Like, oh, we're out of that for today. She just didn't want to make it. Yeah, it's like, man.
See, and that's something. See, if you have an employee like that, those are the standards of being a boss that like you have to set. I had something similar happen to me. Real quick, and I'll let you go here. We were at the mall. This place called Duck Donuts, Mall of America. Best freaking donut you ever had.
Better than Krispy Kreme?
Yes. Oh, hands down. Because
where
Duck Donuts.
Stop by there on the way out.
Free advertisement, Duck Donuts. But I don't know if they're going. So we were there. The mall closed at like 7 or 8 o'clock. Dude, we were there at like 6 o'clock. There's these two girls out there. I guess you would call them city girls.
Oh,
we walked up to them. They're like, "We're closed." We're like, "Oh!" I'm like, "What? Dude, the mall was open for like another hour or two." I'm like,
"Oh, they just didn't want to make."
I think they were
dumb. People are dumb.
Yeah, they were just done. Yeah.
Which makes you sad. I don't know if Duck Donuts is gonna be around.
No. You can't have employees like that in a place like that and be around long. You won't. Because people are going to do bad reviews, especially in just the Mall of America. That's one of the biggest malls in the world.
Yeah.
If not the biggest. So the traction that comes through there, you cannot render bad service.
Exactly.
Because somebody's going to go in there and be like, let's make a...
Or just reject sales. The mall is open for over an hour still. You're just going to turn down these sales? I could get it. Like what you were saying, okay, 5 minutes before close or something. Sure. Like most restaurants have like a cutoff time. Yeah. But over an hour.
You know, if their boss hears this podcast, they're probably getting fired. Somebody just got fired. You just got somebody fired. Absolutely fired.
Hey, they should have made me that donut. They should have made me that donut.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
All right, I don't want to stir too AR from Biel here, man. This episode's all about you, brother. So, going back to your new business and just like the risks involved with like we were talking about just a little bit ago with like in the fashion industry. Like, did you think about that at all? Like when you're going into it, that this is probably a very high risk business for me to get into.
Yeah, long term, I never thought I'd be getting into either restaurants or clothing because you're right, margins are super tight. For this one, the product was less important than the actual mission of the brand. Yeah. Because we could sell anything. We could sell journals and notebooks if we wanted to. We could sell actual technical products for entrepreneurs. But the main focus was on building community and providing value for people. When we provide real value for people, we can sell them anything because we have a relationship with them. Kind of like even like the donuts. Donuts can be donuts can only be so good. But if you like the brand, like the culture, like the company, like how they treat you, you'll come back to them because of that relationship. So then going into it, I was like, you know what? I'm not worried about these tight margins in clothing because as long as I build a good foundation, a real value in relationships, I'll know I'll succeed. And something Pastor Joe told me when I was first meeting him was about the importance of relationships in the church. I know as a pastor, it's very much like an entrepreneur as well, because you have to raise up a group and provide value to a community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities there, you know? And he mentioned how the real value in the church isn't just like that's just a sermon in the Sunday morning. It's the relationships you build with people and build a community that brings them back to you. And that is true in churches. It's true in businesses. It's a way of living.
That was powerful, for sure.
That was,
like,
man.
Yeah,
thank you, man. Like, this, want to see what I mean, man? This
yeah,
guy.
100%. Well, you make a really good point when you think about, just real quick, and I'll let you go. Like, it's not designing the clothes, it's designing the brand. Like when you think about all the most successful like brands, like, you know, Gucci, Victoria's Secret, like it's all these like, you know what I'm saying? They're all these big brands. Well, Victoria's Secret got canceled for a little bit, but I think they're making a comeback now. Because they said the owner's like, I don't want big girls going on.
I love that.
We don't.
Yeah. So no, but
wait. They demonized him for that?
Yes. So a lot of people stopped buying Victoria's Secret, but I think they're making a comeback now. Like that
said he was doing body shaming or something,
and now they're like back at it.
This is so wrong. I don't want to rant, but we're getting to a place with humanity. It's so wrong. It's just lawlessness.
Yeah.
Nobody is really considering reality when things are said. We're talking about his brand, Victoria.
His brand. To be everything Biel talked about, how the importance of building that brand. How many years, before I was even alive, Victoria's Secret has been around.
Yeah.
And now you saw this shift where it's like, well, you have to love me and you better think I'm attractive no matter what my weight is.
No.
And the owner of someone high up at Victoria's Secret was like, we're not putting fat girls in underwears and putting them in posters in our store.
No, because here's the thing. Victoria's Secret has a name attached to it and a desire to be sexy and to be desirable.
Yep.
And so when your brand is that, and then you go outside of things that are not appealing to the eye.
Yep.
And then say, oh, now we're just going to accept anything. You're diluting the influence of your brand because your brand is known for this thing that it's selling. It's selling being sexy, smelling good. You like everybody says, oh, okay, go get some Victoria's Secret for help your marriage. Because it's a desirable trait. So when you put things that are not appealing and are undesirable, it makes you almost have a contradiction in your brand.
Absolutely.
So I commend whatever person stood firm on, no, we're not going, I'm not going to get into nobody's physical appearance, but if your brand.
But if your brand wasn't started or revolving around that from the beginning that made it so successful, why would you pivot now? Why? After all these years,
somebody convinced him, hey, just let her do this and let her get on stage and model this stuff, and then it became the culture. Yeah. And now you have to say, no, this is not the culture. You let one thing go like that, next thing you know, you're gonna just whosoever just come, and then now your brand is not considered appealing and or desirable. People are not going there because I want to be sexy. It's like I just want to fit in. Once you lower the bar, you have to stay consistent with lowering that bar. And once you bring it back up again, they're gonna demonize you. It's like everybody gets a trophy. Everybody won. Everybody won. Yep. So now it's just meaningless now.
Yeah, everyone can be a Victoria's Secret model now. Yeah, that sounds meaningless. It's like
if you say you're a Victoria's Secret model, I know you're a smoke show.
Yeah, exactly.
You might not be fun to talk to, but I know what you're gonna look are fun to be around. You're gonna be really entitled.
Yeah.
And have some severe issues.
Might have not that much substance to you. We're kind of judging. Who knows? There might be some really smart Victoria's Secret models out there.
One of my uncles has a theory. I want to throw him under the bus. The prettier a woman is nowadays, the less substance she will have when she tries to dialogue.
Okay, I would counter that with it depends if they were pretty their whole life growing up. Like girls that have ugly duckling face, with the ugly as a kid, but then mid-20s, something that, like mid-20s, something.
I started working out, got fit.
Exactly. So
that's a recipe. That's a challenge there.
Yeah.
Because go ahead, go. I was
just gonna say. I want to hear what you guys say other than girls that go through that ugly duckling phase, because up into then the whole life, then you have to bring something else to the table. You gotta be smart. You gotta be funny. You got something else has to be more attractive than just your body.
Yeah.
And like also like guys, we all know how guys are. They see attractive women. We're telling them whatever they want to hear. They'll put these like other like really hot women like in this bubble. You know, they're always right. They're saying whatever they want so the dudes can get what they want.
Yeah.
You know, so women that don't go through that when they're younger, I feel like they end up having more substance to themselves when they have older. When you start talking them through conversation,
yeah, I think there are diamonds in the rough. I think the norm, but nowadays when there's an entitlement thing, where if I'm pretty, I just get to, and we don't want to go down that thing again, but there is so many people that have that entitlement based off that because somebody is in their DM. And somebody inquires for them, or somebody wants to have some kind of relationship with them. They think that I'm on a path. You got to have some with the look. They got to come hand in hand, or the outcome isn't going to be desirable.
You know, I have a conflict with beauty in America.
You do,
yeah.
Okay.
With like
let's hear
both
it.
like the social norms and the business side, because I feel like there's a real natural beauty to life in itself.
Yep.
We go to nature. You see the mountains. You see animals in the zoo. We appreciate uniqueness in them, right?
Yeah.
I think here in society, we have decided that humans aren't beautiful as they are. You have to look this certain way and meet these criteria to be considered beautiful. And so I don't have anything against, big brands, building a business on beauty and, that kind of thing. But I think it does take away from our sense of like natural beauty. We put ourselves at, okay, I'm not meeting this standard. We reject our natural beauty. For women too, it's even more so where they have this responsibility or this very high conscious society about women should be beautiful. They should look this way. And I don't think any human should be so caught up or like feel discontent with their selves. I think it's important, you can be healthy. Yeah. You don't want to you guys shower, move around and everything like that. But I don't think we should make such a responsibility to meet some standard. We should appreciate ourselves.
I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Would you rather a beautiful woman with the most disgusting personality or the most unattractive woman with the beautiful person that you have to marry? No, I won't say marry. I'm not gonna say the N word.
Be honest now. I already know which one I choose.
Which is
the one with the disgusting personality.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The beautiful one with disgusting.
Beautiful but disgusting personality.
Okay.
No.
I'm just curious because we'll go down.
I know.
Yeah. You govern us though. You govern us.
Yep.
I mean, I'd have to say,
ooh,
I would want the personality because I'd feel better myself. Someone with beauty, I would feel good in a different kind of way. Like someone's like good to look at. If I'm not gonna enjoy being around them, like long term, I'd be like, I don't want to hang around with you.
Yeah. Long term.
So you didn't pick one. You got to pick one.
I'll pick the one with the unattractive, great personality. I'll go with her.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man. Okay.
I mean, I've been with people who are really attractive, and like I realized I'd rather have peace than I have someone who's really beautiful.
Sure. So I've also been in a relationship with a girl who was really beautiful, did not have the best personality. Yeah, we've lasted maybe 2-3 months on there. But here's why I say that I would choose the disgusting personality for beautiful at first, because at least for me, like that physical attraction has to be there. So if I'm not even like attracted, like if I don't desire you to an extent physically, I'm not even going to want to pursue anything romantically with you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think everyone has to have some sort of physical attraction to their partner.
So would it be fair to say that if the woman that, let's say you did explore the woman that you weren't attracted, would you be mean? Do you get meaner to a woman that you're not
that's ugly?
Oh man, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, no, I don't mean there. If anything, I'm probably nicer to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're nicer to the one that you're not that attracted to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Am I nicer to women who are like
that you're not attracted to?
I would say I'm almost more open or like more friendlier because I'm attracted to women. I might put some more game on, be more like conscious and everything. If I'm not attracted to them, I'm not gonna be acting different. But I would say too, I feel like someone isn't attractive or unattractive or beautiful or not beautiful based on our attraction. Because people are attracted to people who may not be considered beautiful.
Yeah. And
people also may not be attracted to those who are considered beautiful. I think it's very subjective to say, like, if I
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right. Yeah. That's
Shakespeare. He had it. They had it hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't want me to cut you off here. Oh, you are.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So even though like there are dudes out there that like to go cow tipping, as they say.
What the heck is cow tipping?
It's like guys that like bigger girls.
That's called cow tipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never heard that term before?
No, and I know cow tipping. No, I've never heard of no cow tipping.
Okay, well, you must have not have ever been cow tipping though either.
No, that's not.
That's not expected.
Okay. Yeah, cow tipping would not Joe Webb or the third or Junior. No. Maybe the fifth. I don't know. But I think that these conversations are so fruitful that we can learn from each other and grasp desires. And it's taboo now. You can't talk. One of my pet peeves with humanity is that we can't have an honest dialogue. This whole thing, somebody said something about agree to disagree. And I started looking into that, and that's saturated in pride. Because if we're searching for truth, let's just say me and you have a little honest debate here about who's better, Michael Jordan or
LeBron James.
Right? All right. And
LeBron is. We all know that.
No. Hold on. Jordan is the better of the two. If we present and render facts and augment the relationships, not in feeling, not in just say fact. These are facts. One of us has to be humble enough to say, but this avenue to say I agree to disagree is still basically I'm still going to be saying I'm right anyways. I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to further it because it looks like I'm wrong. We have made being right the focus of relationship, and this is why it's so unhealthy now. People just want to be right. There's no humility in having a dialogue now. It's about being right, and even if it's forfeiting relation, I just want to be right. We got to be able to say, "Oh yeah, I'm wrong."
You gotta be the bigger person to say I was wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was being toxic that time.
Yeah, you got.
I was in a shitty mood.
To be able to do that, oh man, for a person, it just brings out so much more quality in their personality. A person that can say that they're wrong, and it's not weak. It's not weak. It's something that if you can admit wrong and admit that you had bad and be redirected on truth, the sky is the limit.
Yep.
The sky is the limit. I mean, you become a person that is excelling because of truth, and nobody can shut the door on that.
And someone who's seeking truth also.
Yeah, the truth.
I don't want to get too far away here, Biel, about like more back to talking to your band and like your business and stuff. So anything that we haven't like touched base on yet when it comes to being, an entrepreneur and your journey and where you're at now, and maybe also any advice you could give to younger men that are listening to this that are also thinking about starting their first business like you did with Drive AI.
I would say, as far as advice goes, I'd highly recommend is taking action of any kind, because we can do our research, we can think on everything, but there will never be a perfect time to explore something. And we may think we're busy now or not ready. We are always ready to take action. We have enough in us to do something. And through those experiences, there are some things we won't learn about where we're going to go and what we need to do, except through experience. No matter how much we think about things, there's information through failure and success. There's information in the process. Like even myself, going through the clothing brand, I learned so much more about creating content on social media. I learned more about manufacturing clothing. I learned more about just like marketing and design. So through those experiences, I wasn't ready to start a clothing brand. I wasn't. But I took action, and even like the Driven AI also taught me things. It gave me connections with people. It put me in new spaces I wouldn't have been until I actually tried that. It gave me a new reservoir of knowledge around data and ride sharing. And so I'll take those connections, the lessons, the experiences onto my next things. So no matter what, my biggest advice is to take action. Take action and learn from your experience.
It sounds like you don't really burn any bridges either, because you built a lot. You built some bridges with Drive AI, and you never know when you're going to have to cross those again. Because it sounds like you took some of those bridges, and you moved them into your next venture here with the clothing business. Now, when you say you're creating social media content, you have like models and stuff trying on your clothes?
Yeah, we previously had them. We don't do so much anymore now because we're not doing clothing inventory.
Sure.
But as far as content goes, we're trying to do one main thing. There's two main things here. One is doing interviews with entrepreneurs. because it is so inspiring and educating to hear the stories of people who've gone through the past before. They go into real estate, you want to start a clothing business, a restaurant or whatever. Hearing what someone else tried, their failures and their lessons, can pass it on to you.
Yep.
I'm posting clips from interviews to help inspire and educate other people who have not gone there yet. And also just putting content out there around like maybe mindset and business tactics and tools, things like that.
You interview them just like on the street? You walk out to,
I actually do. I organize it and do like virtually or in person with friends. But I do want to do more. I'm actually going to events and it's doing random like spot on like questions of people about their dreams, their
for sure
businesses and stuff like that.
I can see you being like that, being at like some, I don't know, some event where you got like your little pop-up stand with there and you're just Biels out there just walking up.
That's a dream right there. I have a whole stand and everything, you know?
That'll be awesome. You got all the tools necessary to do that, man.
And once you have a vision too, it's just about execution. Because like, I feel like so many people are limited only by their imagination or their dreams. Like we have so much skills and strengths we have at our disposal. If we don't believe we can go far, we'll never try to go far. If we don't actually have a vision of a new place we can get to, we'll stay where we are. And there's so many people out there who are more skilled than I am, have more resources than I am. They're not trying things I'm trying. And that's only because of their belief, their own vision. Because I'm not better than anyone else. No one's better than me. We're all like equal in that kind of sense.
Hard work beats talent. That's one of my favorite quotes on there. Well, it's like you don't have to be some super talented person to like be successful, be an entrepreneur. You just got to work hard. Because like I think one of the biggest things, I know something that I struggled with, and this even when I first started this podcast, I think for a lot of entrepreneurs is that if you're someone who really needs structure in your life, once you do on these own businesses, you're not going to get in trouble if you decide to sleep in an extra 30 minutes. You're not going to get in trouble if you said, hey, this is my goal for Friday to get a new video for Instagram this weekend. And then Friday comes along, it's not done yet. Or whatever, I'll do it next week. You don't have that authority above you where it's like you could actually risk losing your job. Because like you are the authority yourself. So it's hard for other people really hold themselves to that standard where they can be their own boss and their own worker at the exact same time.
And normally for a young mind, that's not healthy because more stuff that you have, the more you have to be accountable to.
Yeah.
So my question, just having fun. What is success look like? Would you define the success? Because people say, I want to be successful. I want to be an entrepreneur and successful, right? That's what comes up in every kind. I want to be successful and my own boss and entrepreneur. But this is what I've noticed and others have noticed. My mentor has pointed this out to me. When you explore that conversation with somebody, you'll hear things that have so much ambiguity to it. Oh, successful. I just don't want to work for nobody. I just want to do my own thing and help my family. And it doesn't stop there.
So I was going to say real quick, and then I'll let Biel go. I think people have this weird thing of like in their mind when you say, oh, I want to be successful in my own business, that I just want millions of dollars and I don't want to do shit all day.
That's exactly what
it is. Like they don't understand. Like I don't want to do anything on the
I got a story. I got a story. So
hold on, real quick. Okay, hold off or no?
I'll forget the story.
Okay, you go first.
So the story. One of my buddies came to me with a plan. He wants to do a business that helps guys out that are off the street. Good mission, whatever. Cool. Where can I help? My goal is, as a friend, if somebody tells me what they want to do, their ambitions, their desires, my response is always, where can I help? Where can I help? Oh, you want to do what? Where can I help? You running for what? Where can I help? That's what I'm trying to do. Cool. He goes, yeah, I just need somebody to talk to that can show me how to do it. And then I need to get a building to rent out of it to do it. Cool. I got a building and I got a guy that did that. I'm going to set a meeting up. We'll get to the meeting. He comes with stains on his clothes and couldn't articulate that he needs this, this, and this. The guy that we were meeting with was going to write him a check, but he couldn't articulate. He didn't do his research. He didn't know what a subsidiary was. He didn't know how to get insurance on a building that could be. He didn't know none of that. He just had a thing. Oh, I want to get some young guys to get off the street, stop selling drugs. Yeah. But he couldn't go further. How he's going to do it.
Right.
When he's going to do it. What's the process? What his plan, his blueprint to it. He can do that. And people say, like we said, they want to do, basically they got these good ideas, but normally when you stretch them, how they going to do it, Who have they talked to?
Yeah.
Like guys will do stuff and haven't done any reason. That's one of the pet peeves of talking to young people. They don't even do any research on the stuff that they're trying to do at all. Like you don't know nobody did that. You've never shadowed nobody for what you're trying to do. You just want to come up in with an idea and not do any work on your own end to further this goal or this plan. It's scary.
Yeah.
So I don't know what has happened between now and when I was in high school or when we were coming up. If you had these kind of plans, you had uncles or fathers, you had parents like, how are you going to do this? Give us a plan, blueprint, articulate. When you get in the bank with this guy, how are you going to talk to the banker with this? How are you going to look? What kind of eye contact are you going to make? You can't tell the banker, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going, no, they're going to be like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you the grant. We're not going to give you the loan. We have to start somewhere. When the business, so when I see Biel, I'd be like, man, this dude, you have no door shut. Everybody's going to open. Yep. Come on in, sir. Yeah. But that's the story. Like he couldn't ended up not getting, until this day, it's still not started because he can't put no energy into it outside of himself. And that's where we're at.
Biel, how would you define success, as Joe was asking us earlier?
Okay, first I'll say with the story there, it truly is tragic when people have the ideas and the dreams and the people and resources come knocking at their door to help them bring to fruition, and they're caught unprepared, or they only let the idea just stay there, but they don't take that action. I think it's a truly tragic thing. I think the question about success is a very, very good question. I never really thought about that deeply, but I was like, it made me think, because you're right. When does success happen? When do you say, I have succeeded? Is it like hitting certain revenue? Because there's never really an end piece where you're like, I'm just done with life.
Right.
There's always evolution over time. So I would say success to me isn't a revenue thing or hitting certain goals, because there's goals, but hitting goals is not success. Because you may fail, but I think it's just like success, even in failure, if you move forward and learn from it. So in my mind, succeeding isn't really a place you reach or a thing it's if you're fully, I think, embodying yourself, engaging in life. Because you can succeed even when you fail. Because do I succeed in 10 years from now when I have my money? No, I think if I'm pursuing my goals here, expressing myself, learning, I am successful. I remember I consider myself an entrepreneur before I even own a business. People always ask me, when I say I'm an entrepreneur, they said, what business do you own? And I think it's a fair question, but in my mind, I'm not an entrepreneur because I own a business. I'm an entrepreneur based on the way I think, the way I engage in the world. So this is a word I use to describe how I live. Something of success is not a specific thing, but it's a way of engaging in the world.
And that, I mean, the people saying like, okay, how can you say you're an entrepreneur without a business? I don't think it's something that you have to have present. I think there's a mindset, like you said, there's a behavior that comes with it. There's a culture that you have embraced. There's a knowingness that this is the end destination. So even if I am not a pastor, you're going to see pastor attributes. Even if I don't have a church, I'm still like, or if I don't have this thing stuff doesn't define me. It's the work that defines it. If I'm putting the work in, like there's a guy that has a street church, and people are like, he's not really a pastor. Like, he is a pastor because he has a flock that are coming to him for wise counsel, spiritual advice, scripture interpretation. All these things are happening while he doesn't have a church. I say this guy's a pastor. They're like, he ain't got no church. But like he doesn't have to have it. Just like you don't have to have a business to be it, but you have to have the mindset and be having the work done and the building process. And you are doing, I see it. You are doing it. And don't let that discourage you. People like that are trying to discourage you. Oh, you don't have that. Because if they say you don't have a business because you don't have it present, what happens when you have it? So now, and it fails and it's not good. So now you are an entrepreneur with a failed business.
Right.
See how does that work now? Right. You see like the imbalance of that? And but I think you'll be fine. And not that you need our validation, but you got all the tools and whistles. And I was telling him in the car, he doesn't get grace because he's at this place. It's like I had a conversation with a lady. She's a doctor. And she was saying, well, maybe somebody doesn't, maybe I didn't know. You can't know certain things and then turn competence off when you pick and choose when it works for you. I play a la carte wisdom.
Yeah.
I'm smart today. I'm tactful. I can check your credit. Like I can check your background history, and then I can't check out this. And I don't know what time. I can't find a way to hook up the Hulu on the TV, but I can do a background check on your last
Right. I can do surgery, but I can't get this Netflix account set up.
So yeah, you can't do that. No, you just don't want to do that, and you don't want to do it. That's just the truth of the matter. So there's no grace there because you qualified to have doctoring by your name, and then something like Netflix. That's crazy.
Yeah. Some people lack the tech savviness here.
Yeah.
So
I'm one of them.
We're keeping up on like 15, 20 minutes left in the hour. Yeah. I don't want to see it like not touch base on anything that Biel, you wanted to talk about or share that we may not have gotten to yet. Because I know like 20 minutes can go by quick. So that's why I wanted to like take a second to pause and open this up for you. Anything that we didn't touch base on yet that you want to get into. I mean to call you out. If you don't got nothing, it's fine. But I just wanted to ask it quick.
Thank you for asking that. Like I mentioned, the brand that I'm running right now is I want to help inspire and empower people to live authentically and pursue their dreams, pursue their passions. And so I know a lot of that, though, is going to go back down to their mindset. How do they think? What's the relationship to themselves and the world? Because mindset, it's a really big word, buzzword right now. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts and perspectives to share more about what even is mindset to you. What goes into it? What's a mindset to help you succeed in life?
To me, a mindset is being disciplined for one, and being a disciplined and being present. I feel like are two key components that everyone needs to have a healthy mindset. Being present is I see a lot of people struggling with that nowadays, especially because of myself, and like it's because of the damn cell phones and like the amount of screens. Dude, I think about this sometimes. I spend probably about 90% of my day staring at a screen. Like, because I got my day job. Okay, there's
90% of the day staring.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, day job. There's wake up on the computer all day over there. Even when I go to work out, okay, well, let me like listen to a podcast or like listen to some music on my phone. Okay, so maybe I'm not staring at it, but like it's around me. You know, when I'm at the gym, they got TVs on the wall and shit. When I'm bartending, I'm ringing shit in on a computer. You know, I feel like there's so many screens that distract all of us that's making it tougher and tougher for us to just be present, like in the moment. Now, discipline, for me, being a disciplined mindset is something more simple. It's like, oh, I'm tired, but I'm still going to the gym today. Because motivation is temporary. Motivation isn't going to last forever. So like having the mindset of being like, I made this commitment to myself. I'm going to do it no matter what. Be disciplined and present. I'd say my two like big things about having a healthy mindset.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Your mental canvas has to be consistent with who's around you, what you read, what you listen to, and what you watch. The tendencies will all be there of toxic. If somebody who's ever around you, if they're always negative, what you listen to, what you're reading. Who you're
that's influencing your mindset.
Yeah, that will canvas it. That's your foundation. That's your seed.
And what's the most popular like music these days? It's not very healthy for it's not very healthy for people's mindsets.
Except for my cousin's music. I hate hip hop.
Yeah. There's no value in it anymore.
I don't want to do it. Except it's my cousin. My cousin Pierre makes really good music, and he moves me. And my cousin Steven, he does. They just make good rap music that's honest. I want somebody to play me a song where everything in the song is truth, no exaggeration, no hyperbole, all truth, no exaggeration, no hyperbole, no mystery, no euphorics. I want a whole song full of truth. Please put it in his DM. He'll give it to me. Rap it's got so much dishonest to it, and it's lawless.
I had a thought too to the music industry. I think that's a reflection of probably two things: big companies most profitable, and two, what's the lowest common denominator when it comes to getting popular music out. Because I think people still make all kinds of music that's meaningful, has value, but they're not being elevated, either by the labels, the big labels, or by the people. I think it's sort of like both two things. It's that the labels are promoting these kind of music and people are listening and feeding into it. And so I feel like it's less a reflection of actual musical artists and music and more a reflection of the people at large who are consuming it and who's being chosen to be elevated in the industry.
And there are some exceptions to the rule where some artists are putting out positive music. But for the most part of the culture, what you listen to, what you display, and who you're around, what you're reading, those are that's the answer to the question. That's what factors in your mindset.
Yeah.
That's what embraces how you think, how you act, how you behave, how you deal with circumstances, how you deal with burden is based around what you're hearing, what you're reading, what you're talking to. And I will go further to say your mindset and your vocabulary are relatives. They come together. So if you're around people that use a lot of explicitives and don't use a lot of reality in their dialogue, you will find yourself being delusional and how you respond to life circumstances. And so when you hear a rapper or somebody talk about, oh man, he stepped on my shoe, I want to kill him, I'm gonna kill his family. Wow, over that, that's so. I would say the answer to that question, how you get your mindset, you factor in what you're reading, if you're reading anything, what you're listening to, who you're around, what you're watching, and who your counsel is. And if you don't have any counsel, I've just subscribed to this and I've endorsed this since I was 28. Every man under 50 needs a mentor. He needs wise. If not, if not, a probation officer has to be. So if you don't have a coach, a dad, a mentor, uncle that corrects you as a child or as a young man, you will get it either from a judge or a probation officer. You're correct. Correction has to come from another man. And if you don't have it, if you tell me you don't have a mentor, don't have a father figure, don't have a coach, anybody in your life, I know that you got a probation officer. I know you do. I know you had to have some redirecting from a judge. It has to be there.
Yeah.
And if you have any opportunity to get a mentor under 50, I think when you're over 50, the age of 50, I think you can get through life, but you have to go off the failures without one. But every man under 50 needs wise counsel and another man to redirect and correct. If you don't have that, that's a recipe for failure, and not just failure, disaster and burden. You're going to have to come to a sense of inquiring of something you don't know. And I think wisdom starts to align itself after you've been a father, after you've had failures, after you've done these things. And that comes around 50.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it will be wise. And if Joe Webb's philosophy is wrong, please, somebody that challenges it, come back and give me the feedback. And I'm humble enough to say, I'm sorry, forgive me for giving you bad information, but test my theory. Test my scope, and if it's right, adhere to it. If it's not, forgive me. Come tell me the information though that I got wrong, so I can redirect this stuff that I'm dispatching other people. But try those principles and look into what I'm saying. Find a guy has no mentor, has not had any coach, whatever, no man to redirect, and then look at his life, ask him certain questions, and you're gonna get that he's living in defiance and lawless. And if I'm wrong. Yeah, but I challenge somebody to go test that theory, and it comes back because I did, and I didn't like it when I first heard this from my grandfather and my dad. It's like every young man needs somebody to redirect them or correct.
Put them in check.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. This is good.
I want to add to that. I can't remember if it was Alexander the Great or Julius Caesar, but I was reading about his upbringing, and he was given the best mentors growing up as a child. He had philosophers teaching him, like Aristotle was his teacher. He had the best teachers in the land mentoring him, teaching him. I'm like, man, no wonder he could conquer the world. Because if he had the best, you're as a child getting that kind of wisdom and insight like built into you. I was like, man, what if I had that? Then I realized though, I do have that. Like right now, we have more access to mentors, both physical access to people we can reach out to, and just through literally books and online teaching, we can access that wisdom from people, the greats, and have them be in our lives, a voice, our counsel, like you said. And so I think it's a very true thing. I didn't realize right away how important it really is to have people with you, mentoring you, correcting you, guiding you. Like it's essential.
Yeah. Mentor, but mentor is not just somebody just online. The mentor has to subscribe to having a mentee. It's not like you could just go and
assign them.
No, there has to see both qualities, both expectations.
Yes, the mentor has to see the potential.
Yes,
in the mentee.
Yeah, and so what's happening now? People are going online using influencers as mentors, but that doesn't work. That's never going to be effective.
Because the guy online didn't choose you.
Yeah, he didn't choose you.
You chose him.
Right. Exactly. You got it. See, you heard. Yeah. You've been studying So therefore, people will try to do it the easy way and try to get a YouTube influencer. And this is why YouTube and all these podcasts are so effective, because people are grasping that. So they don't have to go to an uncle, a granddad, a dad, a father, a coach, a business.
Is it weird? People would rather get advice to the internet than their own father now.
That's nuts. And I hate it. People were asking about this. There's so many guys, this Andrew Tate character.
Yep.
And like, man, I don't know the guy, but they're like, oh, you don't. It's like, no, I have a dad. I got uncles. I got accountability. This guy has, I haven't heard. The thing that turned me off with these YouTube influencers, and if they exist, please somebody correct me and show me that I'm saying and give bad information. Love me enough to correct me with a genuine concept to say I want to see growth. But my dilemma is these YouTube influencers, these guys that are using that platform to give information to young guys on how to be. I don't hear them talk about what they learned from their father, their granddad, or they're the Saha for knowledge and understanding. And I got to hear somebody say, my granddad, my dad taught me. You don't hear that nowadays. Or my uncle, like you don't hear that. When's the last time you heard somebody say, my dad taught me how to tie a tie, or my uncle, my mentor told me I can't do that. I have to be on time. A reference to that. When's the last time you got? We're all around.
It's been a while. I can't think of one off the top of my head. So it shows how
except
long
for me,
it's been.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. But it does. It's not a common practice where you hear, man, my dad taught me. You
hear, I saw this on YouTube.
Speak truth to power. Like my dad told me, hey, son, always when you're because one time I was shadowing him and he was so honest with the chief of police. And I was like, you told him all that? He said, you always speak truth to power. Not that he has low integrity, but he went into depth of stories that he was telling him. And when we got in the car, he said, you speak truth to power. And the influence he had in the city based off the judge. I've seen my dad go in courtrooms and tell the judge, I don't want him to go to jail today. I want you to release him to me, and I'm gonna make sure he's good. And I seen the judge say, "Okay, you sure?" He said, "Yeah, he's not, but he's guilty. He has the gun on him. He did it. He did. His fingerprints are here." And I seen him double down. I don't want him to go to jail today. He's coming with me. And the judge said, "For you, but he can't mess up again." I've actually seen that, but it was the relational equity with being honest
and the trust there.
Yes, I seen going to courtroom to do that. I mean, that kind of thing is to me. That's how I measure success. Are you touching lives around you? Success is not just your bank account and your success and your Maserati and your mansion and all your stuff and your Gucci whatever.
Are you helping other people get
how many lives are touched by you? That's what success looks like. If you do a survey and say, all right, cool. Who has Joe Webb's life touched? Who has a job based off of Joe Webb's work? Who has tried a thing that got encouraged by Joe Webb? Or who has an opportunity because of that? Those are things you evaluate the success. If you're touching lives outside of your own, then you got a little something. Because now you have to be even more accountable because you can't let them down. And you have to lead by example. And so when we talk about success, it has it has a very broad spectrum of what's the word? A broad spectrum of the definition. Because I can say success looks like, do I got enough gas in the car to get back to St. Paul? Right. I'm successful because we're good. We're good.
And there's going to be dinner, on the table.
Yeah, that's successful.
Too. Like that's successful. There's a roof over my head.
Yeah, that's successful.
Absolutely.
But then there's a guy right now wondering about, should I buy the Timberwolves? Right? See, his problem. No, you laughing, but how many more people are affected in that success than me getting back to St. Paul?
For sure.
It's the question.
It makes a big difference.
But nobody wants to have
You said it good. Yeah, I like that. The success is the amount of people's lives that you touch.
That's what success is. How many people at my funeral, if I die before y'all, I don't let them, cremate me, but make sure they
You don't want to get cremated?
No, I said don't let them.
Don't let them. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, do a good homegoing. But I want people at my funeral to be like, look, this dude touched my life because I remember I couldn't do this. And he said, look, where can I help? Where can I help? Where can I help? Where can I help? That's a friend, and have the ability to do it, not just saying it. Where can I help? Just to hear it. Where can I really help you?
And then that goes back to like your entrepreneurship and having a successful brand and touching all those people's lives that decide to buy your product. It's not just the clothing brand. It's you actually making an impact on everyone's lives who choose to go through you.
Exactly. I hope it can be a business for good, a good example of what it means to not just be about profit and product, but to be about people and impact.
You know what? This is going to open a whole bunch of Pandora's box. I've been mildly studying a theory that I came up with a friend of mine. That in order to have $10 million, you got to do something or cut corners. Yeah. Somebody's going to be distasteful with something you did once you get that money. So all this stuff with all these celebrities, and once you get to a certain amount of money, God really has no role if you didn't have a secured relationship with him. So lawlessness is the outcome, like it or not. And this thing is going to take you on a journey of doing crazy stuff. It's dangerous for a young man to have endless. That is one of the most reckless desires to have as a young, saying like,
there's so much power that comes with having a lot of money.
Is it power?
You could definitely have a lot of power with the people around you if you have a lot of money. Just take a quick, easy example. Here, you go out to the bar. It's packed. You say, I'm buying a round of 50 shots for everyone.
Yep.
Now you're the man.
You're the man.
You got your power. Or like you buy out the VIP booth. You go talk to all the girls. Hey, why don't you come sit in my booth with me over here? Oh, okay. You know, you're waving the bottles around and shit. That's power.
But that's
it influences
a guy doing that is a cry for help, though.
Yeah.
That when you're doing stuff like that, it brings other concerning factors to how.
It's like you're really powerful, but you're actually really insecure because you're going out and like searching for this, recognition from these strangers that don't even know you.
You don't even know you.
Aren't going to remember you either.
But they're going to eat up everything and drink up everything and then tell you thank you. And and they're going to probably high five you a couple of times. Yeah. And you get a sense of dopamine. You feel like you had some value there.
Right.
It's a feeling. And this is a whole nother thing with man and feelings now. I hate it. It's all this man feeling. It just sickens me where we've gone with society of changing roles. You can't watch a movie without the role change.
The feminization of men is becoming a lot more.
I know. It's just nuts.
You don't like the emotions thing? What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is men act on what they see and what they. So when you consider feelings, I'm not saying men. See what happens. People will say, "Oh, you don't want to have feelings. Men can't have feelings." That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is men act on what they see and think. Feelings make air. And if we are to lead, or we are to be the dominant source of knowledge with spirituality, rationality in our household, a feeling can get in the way of reality is all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't have feelings. We're human beings. We're going to have, if you pinch me, if I had that, as I had some bad sushi last week and that was a bad feeling. But when we're leading our households with feeling, that's what I'm talking about. I don't like it. I think that's the woman's role. Have the feeling all the time. I know guys you can't have a conversation or a dialogue with. It's all I feel like. As a man, that brings scrutiny to other things, because if it's all feelings are not reality, and feelings are the biggest liar. It's the biggest liar. Feelings are the biggest liar. For instance, I was in excruciating pain and my feeling thought I had an earache for 48 hours. I'm in hell. And come to find out, my feelings lied to me. It was a toothache. Yeah. So my point is that we can't go off how we feel every day.
With like certain things, but at the same time, like if you love a woman, you know you love her. Your feelings don't lie to you.
If you love her, but you can think you love her too. And when you say you think you love her, you have to accumulate more of a foundation that's saturated than with a feeling. If you just explore that and consider, everybody hates Joe Webb until they consider, is there any truth in what I'm saying? Everybody hates my guts, hates me. And I get it. Yeah. Good. It's okay. But consider, is there any truth in what I'm saying? If you said, I feel like I love you, that's one thing. But if you say, I think I love you, Now, with you thinking that you love her, you have to have some attributes, something tangible that sways your thinking. With a feeling, you don't. I can just leave it at that. I feel like it with no why, with no response, with no anything nothing intangible that they can grasp on. I feel like it. But if I think I love my wife, why do you think that? Now you have to come. The avenue to say feelings alleviate having a tangible response to it. So now I can say I feel like I'm an NBA player.
You don't have to have any reasoning for your feelings.
No, they just there. Yeah, thank you.
I feel like this. I feel like that.
So watch this. I feel like I can contribute in the Timberwolves game. I can get him if I play 12 minutes. I can get him. Right. I can get him 8 to 12 points.
Maybe you do feel that way though.
But if I say I think I can, my dad would say, "Why do you think that?" I know I'm gonna get up and down the court 2 or 3 times, and this back is gonna hurt. My ankle's gonna hurt. I got a bad hamstring. I'm 41 years old. I could barely dunk. I could barely touch the rim. I know that's not reality, but if I feel like it, there's no what feelings make errors. My whole point. But men act on what they see and what they think that give us a strong foundation. Women can act on feeling, emotion. They're all over the place. And what we've done, we've told guys to do it this way, and it's out of the organic nature of how we are to be. It's out of the law of the origins of a man to act in fit. I'm not saying, see what happens. People will.
You're not saying that men don't have feelings or men aren't allowed to have feelings.
That's not what I'm saying. But somebody will do that. Somebody's going to hear that and be like, "Oh, he said no." And this is why it's hard to have an honest dialogue with people. And by people hate my guts.
It's about how you're saying men are better with like how they react to their feelings.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to be irrational once you do start actually thinking about your feelings and let your feelings start like taking control of you. It's very easy. Like say, you're getting in a fight with your girl. Like it's easy to let anger control your vocabulary, and then pretty soon you say something you don't mean, and then it spirals and gets way worse.
You just touched on a good point. I would recommend as a man to not fight with a woman, because here's the thing, that can never be fruitful. So here's how it will work. You're dealing with the circumstance, whatever you say most of the time. I mean, there are some exceptions to the rule. There are some rational women. There are some very humble women that can be redirected and to see, okay, this is dishonest. But normally when you talk about fighting with a woman, it's not for a solution, it's to be right. So as a man, I wouldn't, doing that is going to be fruitless, because you're going to say things like, "Oh, you didn't make any sense. That theory doesn't make." Oh no! So now you think I'm stupid. Now you have to deal with 5 minutes of conversation where you're cleaning up. You saying they're not. So it's gonna be. They're not gonna deal with what. It's the nature of a woman. Yeah. I was boggled by it for years, but then I know it's like this is the nature of a woman. So a dialogue like this goes, "Hey, babe, I'm not happy with this behavior, or I don't really care about your career. Oh, so you don't want me to work? Oh, well, it's like." How did you get that out of that? It's like, no, it's not gonna. It doesn't make you any more desirable because you have a PhD or whatever, or doc, whatever you have. So now you don't want me to work. So they're gonna pick and choose whatever you say to not deal with the issue. So now you have to deal with the dialogue that, oh, now I don't like you to have a career. No, it's like it doesn't matter. So the conversation is going to cycle into unfruitful conversation. You're not going to get any solution. It's like, okay, let's say, all right, you are a doctor, whatever, lawyer, whatever high career you have. It doesn't make you have more desirable. It actually brings undesirable traits to the relationship. And so having a fight with you can't get anywhere. You can't, it's not going to be fruitful. So fighting with them, it's like you have to get to a place where there's no fight. It's just an honest dialogue where we can be truthful and honest and grow from there. But when you try to fight, or their whole narrative is trying to be right and trying to switch, and you're trying to say, "Hey, this is what I see. This is what I think." It's not going to get any fruit out of that. And I'm the chief failure in that area because I've done it a lot of time. I've had fruitless arguments with a woman, now it's like, okay, I shouldn't
me
even
too.
know.
We all have.
Yeah, it's like, why do
like,
this?
No, man, you do not.
Because their rationale is
whenever you're in a relationship with a woman, there's no way. There has not been a single couple that did not get in at least one argument.
You have to. It's healthy. You gotta have it. You have to have an argument.
And I think it's important to show how you guys get over that argument. It shows, like, if you're able to have an argument, disagreement, how both of you react to it, and if you're able to like move forward from that and leave it behind. Dude, my parents were like, really, dude, they used to bicker at each other all the time. They're still together though. Yeah. But they're like old school, like just bickering about just like dumb shit. But I view that as like, oh man, it's what happens when you're like with someone for like 30, 40 years living in the same house. It's the smallest things.
Yeah. That's a huge part. Like if you can grow through that thing. Yeah. Sometimes there's like, okay, if that's how you're gonna handle it.
And it goes to show like, okay, are you just gonna leave when we have one little argument? Because that's the other thing. I feel like this day and age, and we don't have to go too far on this because we are like a little bit over an hour now, but like there's a lot. It's so easy for people to say, oh, we had one argument and one fight. I'm done. I don't need to be treated like this. Like I'm gone. Like, and I'm going to go to the next person. When it's like, you're able to like actually work through those really tough times, like with your partner. Like imagine getting over a fight over something like really small and stupid. You know, I can't think of an example. Like, just pick anything.
It's so crazy. You can't think of examples in these moments because I got so many, but I can't think of it in these conversations.
I've gotten in fights over like really like dumb shit over time, but like makes you wonder, like, okay, if I'm fighting over this like really small thing, we can't even survive this. What happens when like something big actually tests our relationship? Yeah. You know, we can't even get back over the small stuff. And just like, so all these dating apps and social media has made it so easy for people to just be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this argument. Like I'm done with you. And then they move on to the next one. And then they hit that same wall again.
Humanity is weaker than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Humanity is so weak. It's like adversity has exposed us, has unveiled this weak thing when adversity comes because of these outlets of Tinder, whatever the things are that you can just call somebody the next person. And then boom,
got a new one right
there.
So
now adversity hits and it's like, okay, now I could just go. I don't have to, no accountability, lawlessness. If I'm confronted on my bad behavior, then I just double down and then I move on to the next place. That's what happens. It's like, okay, cool. This is what we're doing.
All right, boys, we're a little over an hour here, man. I feel, Biel, man, I'm sorry. I feel like we didn't get to really dig into a lot of the topics that you probably want to come in here and talk about, dude. But I really appreciate you coming over, man. I do. And we're not gonna like cut off just yet. It's like, any like final thoughts from you, Biel, like that we didn't get to touch you, and you're welcome to come back here anytime. Like, so don't feel like if there's something we didn't get to today,
it's not it's not a one and done. Once you got access to them, you got access.
Like there's
unless you came in here and do something crazy.
Exactly. So any final thoughts, brother? Anything that you want to touch base on, like real quick here before you send it home? I know we had talked about only going an hour, we're like an hour 15, hour 20 right now. So
I'll say earlier when I asked you guys about mindset, you guys both touched in a similar vein there. You mentioned, what are you reading, watching, who you're speaking with? You mentioned the discipline and presence. And how we're often on screens a lot, you know? In our work day. We go home, relax, watching screens. There's this thing of like, where are we spending our time? What information are we consuming? And I think that a lot of things we've built now have been, there's many companies profit off taking our attention and our time. And so instead of putting our time towards fruitful things and endeavors and activities and people, may go more into TV. People watch porn. People play video games. And it's not bad things, but these companies profit playing more and more and more. In my full-time job, actually, I was so crazy you mentioned that because my full-time job is a wellness startup called Better You, and our whole platform is designed around helping people spend their time meaningfully, to engage in their real habits. People may have a list of things they want to do, they should do, they like to do. If you look at their days, so many of our time is spent like on screens or doing things that aren't healthy for us. And so I really appreciate you guys touching that area, you know, like being conscious and intentional and present to our lives.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like I actually, like real quick, going back to the porn, dude, like I stopped watching porn probably like 8 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't logged on there once.
Really? That's good. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank
good.
you, man.
It's a perversion.
It rots your brain, dude, over time.
Yeah.
And this is someone like coming from someone who was exposed at like a very young age, you know, like going to sleepovers at my friend's house, or like, you know, all the boys, then they have an older brother, and it's like, oh, look, check this out, guys, pull this up on the computer. Like, there it is. Like, next 30 plus years, just a really bad addiction.
Like when you say bad,
that's how it is for a lot of men.
When you say bad, like how bad, like
it's probably weekly.
Weekly, okay.
It's probably like, I'll probably say most of the time it was for sure weekly. Now, if I was actually in a relationship with someone and like I didn't need to seek that as much because I was getting it in reality. So I definitely noticed that like it was definitely worse when I was a single, lonely, and wanting that.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think once you go down that thing, when you don't get those type of women, you
create unrealistic standards for yourself. I feel like you're watching this. You're seeing women on there that you would never see. You don't see in your ordinary day life. Like you don't see those women ever. And if you did, you're not going up and talking to them.
Well, yeah, where do they find them girls like that? Like it's like, man, they convince this beautiful woman to do that. That's just some man.
And isn't it crazy?
That's
like,
just nuts. That's
some of the most like. Yeah, like the hottest women are in there. Like you gotta think a lot of those women just don't have dads. They don't have that guidance. They like, or you know, the father just wasn't that present.
Yeah. And then some guy talked to me. Yeah. But then you start to, once you watch enough of that, and then you start to expect that, and you're not gonna be able to satisfy your individual because you think it's that it's just a bad thing to
subscribe to,
consume yourself with.
100%. All right, Pastor Joe, anything else you want to send us off with here?
Thank you guys for being here. I think for these conversations are so awesome, man. I talk to you guys all day, man.
Man, me too.
Really
like
truthful.
I feel really lucky that our paths crossed, dude, with our friend, you know, Gypsy many years ago, bro. Hope she's doing
like
good.
You like doing that.
Yeah.
You like it. Oh, yeah.
I hope she's Gypsy. I hope you're doing well if you ever watched it. She just recently had a kid too. I hope the little one's like thriving and healthy and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, Biel Wiel, man, thank you for coming on here, being vulnerable with yourself, being transparent and able to put yourself on the internet. It's not easy. Like podcasts aren't for everyone, dude. Like,
no.
It's nice. So I really appreciate you being vulnerable and being brave enough to come on here and do this. And I hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Choose Doug Life. Doug Life chose me.
Man,
Thank you. Peace.